And good morning to you back on this Tuesday, the 16th day of the month. And we have again with us Board of Commissioner Chair KIRK DEVIERE. He's going to be with us for half of the hour. He has meetings he needs to attend. However, we appreciate him being in with us. A little chilly out there still, and it's not officially winter until Sunday. However, it's a little chilly out there, and you pass the little lakes, you see a little sheet of ice. Don't try to walk on it; it's not thick enough. You'll go under. Yeah. But anyway, good morning to the KIRK. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. As always, great to be here. It's a little chilly out there. It's been a little chilly last couple of days, but you know, it's just good to be here.
Sure. Okay. And certainly, our most able producer, Reverend Carly Brinkley, with us this morning. Let's dive head off into some things there because you have another meeting. What's making the news is the short-term fix for the parking lot, what used to be the parking lot across from the courthouse. Let's talk about that and how we arrived at that, and how do you all envision moving forward with that and beyond?
Yeah, so you're referencing what I call the Gillespie Street lot. So that is the lot that's in front of the courthouse where the parking lot used to be, that had 200 spaces, that was torn up in preparation for the former Crown Event Center that, as you know, that project was canceled. And so what we're looking to do now is, you know, we're still moving forward on looking at economic development opportunities, and Robert Van Giens is actually working on some of those, as well as there's some other options that are being presented to us. But we thought it was important, our DEQ permit, so part of that construction project, there was a DEQ permit. That permit was expiring, and thought it was important that we go ahead and just reconfigure that space back to green space. We don't want to disrupt a lot of the site work, because there's been a lot of site work. In any future development, we can leverage that site work. So when you hear all that money that was, you know, people were saying the money was lost and everything, well, there was a lot of investment made in that site prep. That's not going to be lost when we put something else there.
No, excuse me, could I interrupt? So the DEQ means what?
I'm sorry, Department of Environmental Quality.
Okay.
So it's a permit to basically, you know, you're controlling the stormwater and those kind of things, just to make sure you're doing all the things from an environmental standpoint. But what we've directed, our county manager is going to look at temporary green space. So we want to, you know, level that place out, you know, get it back. Get the fencing down, you know, control the soil and put some green space in there, put some grass in there, but just put it in a temporary green space. People can enjoy it. Everybody loves green space in a downtown, but it also, you know, doesn't impact the site work that's been done. So if we begin to put some type of project there, economic development project, that we can still leverage that investment that's already been made for that site prep. You know we still have got a parking, you know, we're working through, when you lose 200 spots and don't have a plan on how to fix it, not us, but the previous board, we're still kind of working through some of that. We've got a new updated parking plan for the courthouse that, you know, takes care of the public using the courthouse, as well as the employees that actually work in the courthouse, the judicial folks, as well as the county folks. And so while we've added capacity back to the parking with some additional parking lots across Person Street, there's still, you know, we still probably need, you know, a few more slots. We're working through what that looks like. You know, concern is in that back parking lot that people are parking in spots and not creating a public safety hazard if an emergency vehicle needs to get up through there. You know, we want to encourage people, if you're going down to the courthouse, just look on our website. There's a great map that tells you exactly where you can park and where the free parking is versus paid parking in downtown. So those are kind of the things that bubbled up recently, and it bubbled up because, you know, we directed at our agenda meeting last week for the manager to begin this process and bring us back, you know, a plan in January to kind of get this thing moving and get it done. So.
Sure. Well, you know, but the notion that there's no challenges with parking simply is not true when it comes to doing business at the courthouse. I happen to be in a week-long trial with the lawyer that I work with, and I had to be with him for a week, and I was like, wow, going down there every morning and trying to find parking was quite interesting.
Well, and some people say there were parking issues before the county took
there
up
were.
those 200 spots
Right.
as
And
well. And those were 200 free spots, by the way.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right. I mean, 'cause
So, we put down probably, over between 100 and 150 spots back. We know there's still a need. And, as this new parking plan that got put in place about 45 days ago, I guess now, that the county manager put in place, we'll kind of look at, through the end of the year, what else needs to be done. And then if there needs to be some additional temporary parking, try to look for that additional capacity, to help facilitate that. But, it's always going to be a topic, and people want to continue to bring up that lot. But, I'll continue to stand by the decision this board made in a 5-2 vote to end that project for various reasons, and then to begin to look back out at the modernization and revitalization at the Crown Arena and Theater.
Sure. And 2 of those votes that voted for the project to stop had previously voted for the project in the beginning.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
So-
That's right.
Right. But I guess if you get a favorite editor or something like that, some print media, they'll continue to write about it every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to write about it. So one of the things we did last week in a commissioner request, so, in our agenda sessions, we have a period where commissioners can make a request, much like you see the city council does.
Sure.
We can get the will of the board, then we can direct staff. That's our way if we want to kind of add something to the plate, so to speak, or look at something different that may be outside the current program of work. It's our opportunity to do that. So I brought up looking at master plan for the Crown, what I'm calling, kind of the Crown area. So as you look not on the Crown complex, but all the, kind of surrounding area around that, we need to look at a master plan for what that area is going to look like long term. And hopefully, I wanted to see the appetite for our board to look at that area from a master planning standpoint, and then begin to have conversations with the city around doing the same thing, but in a joint way for the airport corridor. So you've got the Crown kind of corridor. You remember me last year talking about corridors, and that was one of our corridors. Look at that Crown sports and entertainment kind of corridor, and then in partnership, we'll ask the city if they entertain the option to look at master planning around the airport, and we could do that in a joint way.
Right.
We know in the Crown corridor, there's a lot of city of Fayetteville land there as well, so there'll have to be some coordination. My intent was to get the board to start thinking about what could that area look like, not just sports and entertainment, but what else could go out there? What other types of things that could support the Crown facilities that are already there, that we're enhancing, that potentially could be added to it. But also look at, what's the future? There's areas, we've got a lot of land out there. There's opportunities for residential growth, commercial growth. What needs to be there? We need to plan that. If I-685 is going to make its way down there in 10 to 20 years, we need to set the conditions now. And that's what smart communities do. They plan. And we need to this is looking 10, 15, 20 years out at a master plan. Very high level, just conceptually, I get a concept of where we are, 3 to 6 month kind of process, and then decide if we want to do anything beyond that. But make our community and our board, our elected officials, begin to have conversations about that part of our community.
Sure. So now on the corner of, I guess it would be one of the side roads and Mountain Drive, I guess it was called Coliseum Inn.
Coliseum Inn.
That was destroyed, or whatever official term y'all use, to have that demolished.
It's in the process of being demolished. It hasn't been totally demolished yet, but it's in the process of being demolished.
Okay, all right. Man, I drove by that one day. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty
Most
much,
of it's gone.
Yeah, most of it's gone. So the owner of that doesn't live here, I don't think, correct?
It's, as I recall, it's a multitude of people that
Right,
own it.
multiple owners, okay. But is there a plan? Do they have a plan for what will be there?
It's still privately owned.
Okay, all right.
And I think that's part of, we need to talk about that conversation. So how do you come into the Crown, with $295 now, with, Interstate 95 with future I-95. What does that footprint look like? What do we want around? What kind of retail, hospitality do you want around that corridor? You know, what type of potentially residential? What other types of entertainment options or even sporting options? I mean, we're having conversations. We're working towards our feasibility study. Our manager is bringing back a consultant for our aquatic center feasibility study, regional aquatic center. Is there an opportunity for that to be somewhere in that corridor? Potentially, maybe not, maybe so. We need to have those kind of conversations about what do we want. Much like when you a lot of times see communities like a Fayetteville or a Cary or other communities, they do these downtown master plan. What do we want our master plan to look like? What do we want our downtown? This is saying, what do we want this part of our community to look like? It's a huge gateway into our community, not just Fayetteville, but into Cumberland County in a lot of ways. And we've got an opportunity to kind of set the conditions to do that. And so unanimous support from the board to move forward. So we'll see what the manager brings back in January as far as kind of next steps.
Sure, you know, I was thinking because the school's administration building is right across the street.
That's right.
If they expand, you know, it would seem like that would be a viable location if you could purchase that property from those owners, because you would still have that building and then you could add on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. What type of office, you know, industrial kind of, you know, is out there? Do they stay out there? Do they move somewhere else? I mean, the school board's going through a huge, and my hat's off to them with the consultant work that they're doing on repurposing and redistricting. You know, that's never an easy task to do. It's always very political and emotional when it comes to community. And so, you know, there's going to be, you know, there's a lot of information that's coming out of that, a lot of buildings and schools that could potentially be repurposed as well. So there's a lot of moving pieces. Now, none in that footprint that we were just talking about, except for the administrative office. But my point is, you know, maybe the administrative office moves, and that's something that we look at in the master plan. We don't want office out there. It needs to be, you know, different. I don't know. I'm just, you know, that's why you plan, and that's why you do those things accordingly. Yeah,
well, you know, I did see that. I don't remember exactly what all of that was stating, but I did see it on last week when that consultant report was released to the news. And I guess that's some concern for individuals like living out in all the way out in Beaver Dam. That's 30 miles from downtown, and you know.
Yeah, but you're 12 miles from the school that they're recommending, and you look at that. That's from the point, the very edge. So it's, you know, it's a. I'll have to say it's never going to be easy to make decisions, and I don't want to get into the school board's decisions because that's a process they have to go through. I'm just very supportive of them. One of the things that we talked to them about when we made a historic investment in our public education system here, not only to fund, you know, teachers, but also to fund the maintenance and new construction. One of the things that we said is, your reports are telling you you've got aged buildings. We need to make sure that we are repurposing and we're doing redistricting as part of this investment. And the school board has been good to that. This new school board that's aboard took the bull by the horns, no pun intended, and moved with this consultant, and now is receiving this report. And I think it's a very detailed report. If you haven't had an opportunity to look at it, you can go to the school's website. It's right there. School system's website, download it. We look forward to having a joint meeting, hopefully in January with them to discuss it. And again, our position as a board is that, you know, school boards needs to make some decisions on the recommendations. They've got 3 recommendations from their consultant. Maybe it's a hybrid of something, but they need to make some decisions on that. And then we'll have a conversation about the resources we've already committed and commit those resources to them based on the timeline that they need those resources on how the plan will work out for the repurposing and the new construction. I think that's the important part. We've got to support their decision, you know, as they make it, because it's not going to be an easy decision for them to go through. And again, my hat's off to the leadership of that board as well as those board members for really leaning into this, which they should. You know, when you've got schools that are, you know, low occupancy, not maintained, and there's another building right across the street or within that proximity, we've got to be smart about our resources. And we know that the public education space is continually becoming more competitive. When you look at the private schools and the opportunity scholarships now that are bolstering our local private schools, and you can just look at a lot of our churches are standing up private schools, as well as, so that they have to have a good quality product in what we do, and this is a step to enhance that product in public education.
Well, look, I know you have another meeting, about 5 minutes. You got to get out of here. What would you guys be looking at? What would you be looking at as we leaving out of 2025? It's been an eventful year with some changes, and I think some people would say that we made some great steps forward. But as we move out of 2025 and into 2026, what are your feelings? What do you see? You've been elected chair again, so obviously your colleagues feel like that they want your leadership to be at the point of this. Where are we going?
Yeah, so I think we have a lot of momentum and things that are really bubbling towards the top, and I think we'll see some. We saw some movement last night with our unhoused support center. We authorized approved a bid for an operator for our unhoused support center. That's the one that's currently the $17 million project on right near B Street. So we approved that. We directed our county manager last night to re-engage the Salvation Army. They've come back to us to re-engage them with negotiations to look for additional white flag capacity, as well as emergency sheltering, as well as winter sheltering. So I think you're going to see those types of things as some of these things that we've been deliberating on and working through some of the details. You're going to see some of those move forward in January. Joint 911 with the city of Fayetteville. We look forward to moving forward with them. We've got some things in Parks and Rec. I think you're really going to begin to see some information and not planning, but execution of how we're doing our water and sewer across our community. When we look at these districts and how we're enabling these municipalities and working together to build capacity across Cumberland County with our partners like PwC and these municipalities. So I think you're going to begin to see all those things. It's not going to be any different than what we laid out, Troy, last January when we sat down and did a strategic plan. I think one of the things that I talk about when people said, why be the chair again, is because I think one of my skill sets, I believe, is to kind of keep us focused on what we need to stay focused on, and that's that strategic plan. So that was the will of the board, and these are the things that we laid out. So I think you'll continue to see movement in that. Again, we've got some things that are bubbling to the surface pretty quickly that we took some action on last night as the last meeting in December to make sure our management team could begin to execute so that we could continue the momentum we need through the holidays and into January, so we're not just waiting till January to do something. If there's other actions that need to happen, quite frankly, I won't hesitate to call a special meeting through the end of December, and I told the manager and the team that last night. We'll make sure that we got a quorum there to do the things we need to do, but we can't slow down what's happening. We've got work to do as government, and I think we're going to hit the ground running in the new year and continue to push forward on several fronts. We've got work in the mental health front. We've got work to do on economic development and some of the opportunities that are there. We've got work to do with what's happening at the Crown, modernization and renovation projects. So there's a lot of things that we're moving towards that I think you'll continue to see the momentum as we move into 2025. But we're not gonna slow down. We got a new assistant county manager last night hit the ground. So that's Miss Bradley. So 25 years of experience out of New Hanover County.
Right.
We're excited about that. That builds capacity with our staff. I told her last night, buckle up, because we got a lot of work to get done. And I think that's been the mantra of this board. I know, I think we're going to be coming on one of your shows on WIDU later to talk about a year in review. It doesn't seem like it's only been a year. It seems like it's been about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Don't know if we'll be able to get everything into one show that we've accomplished over this year and the movement we've made, but just proud of the board, the way we've been able to kind of not always maybe see things eye to eye, but the common goal is where we stay focused. And we've made a lot of adjustments over this past year and look forward to leading this board in the next year in a critical time. And really, quite frankly, with 8 of the 9 mayors across our municipalities remaining, and the 9th mayor is Mayor Turpin, who's coming back, who I already know and have a relationship with, really look forward to working with those mayors across this county to continue to build capacity across our county in a very collaborative way.
Sure. Well, look, it's going to be a wrap with Board of Commissioner Chairman KIRK DEVIERE. I appreciate him coming in. He has another meeting. He can't stay with us for the entire hour. But anyway, thank you, sir. And we'll stay on top of things, hopefully, and I appreciate you coming by giving us an update. All
right, Troy, and I'll come back on. Find me another time because I'm cutting you short. And what I want to do is, you need to hype it up. So, Pastor, I need you to hype it up, and let's do some call-ins. Let me take the hard questions. I said when I started this show,
right?
Call in, ask me the hard questions, because that's what this is about.
Excellent. Appreciate it. Take care. We'll be right back following this break.
Tragic deaths of the iconic Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle at their home. The Reiner's son Nick is now in custody on suspicion of murder. Hunter Biden has been disbarred in Connecticut for violating several ethics rules for lawyers. The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments over the legality of President Trump to issue broad tariffs. Head of the States Merchants Association, Andy Ellen, is looking back on the year and some changes that he says will help consumers. Temperatures in North Carolina have plummeted to well below freezing this week, and plumbers are saying to be careful with your pipes. They are vulnerable. We'll get the official November jobs report later this morning, but an early snapshot is raising some red flags. New data from payroll processor ADP shows private employers actually cut jobs last month. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Peter Killeen, WIDU Radio News. A woman found dead in the woods along Bragg Boulevard Monday morning has sparked an investigation that includes members of the Fayetteville Police Department's homicide unit. According to a news release from police, officers responded to a call about a suspicious death, the 3900 block of Bragg Boulevard, just before 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. When police and EMS arrived at the scene, according to police, officers found the body of a woman they say appeared to have been living in the woodline. Her identity has not yet been released by police. 2 people are recovering after a car crashed in Grays Creek in Cumberland County. This happened just after 2 Sunday afternoon on I-95 near the 46-mile marker northbound. Investigators say when they got to the scene, they found a car there split in half. The driver and a passenger both rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Cause of the crash still under investigation. From WIDU Radio, I'm Peter Killeen.
Good morning. We're off to a chilly start. It's another sunny and cool day, but at least it's a bit milder. Highs are in the mid to upper 40s. Tonight, it's partly cloudy. Lows are in the upper 20s to lower 30s, so it won't be quite as cool. And tomorrow, we'll see an increase in cloud cover. High temperatures increase as well into the mid to upper 50s ahead of our next front arriving Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
The City of Fayetteville's Solid Waste Division reminds you to put waste in its place and recycle right. Not everything belongs in your blue rollout cart. Skip the greasy pizza boxes, toys, clothes, styrofoam, bubble wrap, and plastic bags. Recycle only clean paper, cardboard, bottles, and cans, and help keep Fayetteville safe and sustainable. Learn more at fayettevillenc.gov/recycling.
This season, make the choice to protect what matters most, you and your family. Choose to get vaccinated for the best protection from respiratory illness.
Talking with your provider about vaccines, hand washing, and staying home when sick keep your family protected from the flu, RSV, and COVID.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Minister Pamela Ross, and I am the Assistant Treasurer for the FCCMC, and I'm here to tell you about the MLK weekend. First of all, January the 18th at 5 p.m. at Tabernacle of Miracle, 2514 Hope Mills Road. We will have Pastor Ricky Harold as the speaker, who's from Christ Worship Center. Then on January the 19th, we will have none other than Bishop Brian Thompson for the 10 a.m. MLK brunch, and you don't want to miss right after the youth extravaganza with Kevin Brooks. This is going to be held at the Crown Coliseum. You do not want to miss the event.
'Tis the season to make your season shine. This year, give your holiday lights and your wallet a little extra sparkle. Switch from old incandescent string lights to bright energy-saving LEDs and enjoy the glow that lasts. LED decorative light strings use 96% less energy and can last up to 10 times longer. And here's the real gift. From November 1st through December 31st, you can earn up to $40 in PWC bill credits just for making the switch. That's more sparkle and less waste. Hey, and while you're lighting things up, celebrate the season with PWC at Fayetteville's favorite holiday events. Grab your tickets and head to Segra Stadium for the Fayetteville Woodpeckers Holiday Lights. Or bring the whole family to Christmas in the Park at Arnett Park, a free event powered by PWC and packed with holiday magic. Let's make this season shine together. Learn more about all PWC energy-saving incentives at faypwc.com.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is Greg West. For 24 years, you've known me as your representative on the Cumberland County Board of Education, working alongside parents, teachers, and taxpayers to do what's right for our kids and our community. Now, I'm running to be your at-large county commissioner. My focus is clear: strong schools, reliable water and sewer infrastructure, a growing workforce pipeline, and keeping our tax burden low. Let's build what matters for Cumberland County. This is Greg West. I appreciate your support and your vote.
Paid for by elect Greg West.
I'm Marshall Pitts, and I'm the oldest.
Module Pitts, the middle and the greatest.
I'm Myron Pitts, and I'm the youngest.
And we are
MP3.
I want to say to everybody, please have a safe and happy holiday season out there. Eat a lot, spend a lot of time with your family and friends, and just enjoy the season.
Forget everything he just said. The holidays are about family, friends, and food. Please enjoy.
And I would say that use this time to become even closer to the people you cherish in your life, and take time to enjoy just the simple blessings.
And again, you always want to be so deep when everybody was being lighthearted, but that's okay. I'm Marshall Pitts.
I'm Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3. Happy holidays.
And we're back now. It's about 38 minutes, 22 minutes to the top of the hour here. We had earlier, in the first part of the hour, Board of Commissioner Chair KIRK DEVIERE talking about what we're doing, how we're going, and what direction we're going in. don't know if you guys happened to read that article last week talking about the schools, consolidation of some schools. I just, for one thing though, and this is not political, just facts. Out of about 110 different schools, systems across the state, attendance in public schools is dropping off. People are finding other ways to educate their children.
Wow.
And so, that's kind of the way things are. I don't know, I'm a grandpa age now, so I don't know what to say if that's a concern or what, but still, we got to do better. Now, this other thing they was talking about, that the teacher pay was like 43 out of 50 states. But the teacher pay is not the same in every county though.
Right.
So, I can imagine that some low counties are pulling us down, dragging us down, whereas that, I love to see what's the highest teacher pay per county, in a county, and what's the lowest teacher pay,
Yeah, and just from conversations, I know many teachers in Robertson County move up to or commute to Cumberland County.
Exactly, that's
because
my
of
point.
better pay. And from just talking to a lot of teachers, Wake County is the place,
of course, yeah,
for teacher pay.
But that cost of living is different too.
Oh yes, yes sir, yes sir.
I mean, I know that at one point I saw, and this has been a decade or more ago, that if you move from Cumberland County to Wake County, I think it was more like city though, Fayetteville City to Raleigh, you would need about $20,000 more a year to maintain the same standard of living.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
That was, but anyway, look, we'll open the phone lines up for you as well. We have Reverend Paul Matthews here, pastor there at First Baptist there in Lumberton. Big time Steelers fan. They won last night, and he all Steelers now. He all Steelers.
Look, it's cold, and so I have my Steelers toboggan on, but I feel like I just need to put on my Steelers jacket because it is cold.
You got a Steelers jacket, man. Look, I thought about that, man. I saw some stuff online where it's that I may get me a Raiders jacket too, so I can compete with them. I don't care whether they win or not. I'm wearing my stuff, okay? Matter of fact, I predict we're winning the Super Bowl next year, okay?
Okay.
You sounded like a cowboy.
Reverend Carl said, you sound like a Cowboy fan. I mean, for real, because that's what y'all do every year. But, yeah, I remember what I said on air yesterday.
Yeah.
I went along with Coach Bricky, and I said, no, I'm picking Miami. Man, I went home, and I started doing my research. I love to do research.
Yes, sir.
And Miami never wins in the cold. Really, literally, if it's cold, you could call it a loss. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I said, nah. But I had already picked the Steelers anyway. But I said, I'm not changing this. So I said, let me leave this thing alone. So, but that was that. In the football pool, West was number one station owner, and then you have my daughter, who lives in Florida, South Florida. She was number two. And then you have Victor Landry. You all remember him. Used to work here in this community, Fayetteville State grad. He was number three. So that's how it goes. But like I said, I looked at that. I said, I ain't changing this, man. What's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Look, I'd be crazy to try to change that.
Oh, yeah. And it was a slow, the first half was kind of slow, but the Steelers offense kind of picked it up in the second half. And actually, to be honest, I didn't really watch the game.
Right.
I was working on something, and so I pinned it on my phone. So every time I looked at it, I saw the change in it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And also another Steelers fan is DL, and he's on the line now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that was an ugly first half, but they come on in the second half. But what I wanted to call about, Troy, we talked about, me, you, and Jay talked about the new laws on the book, and one is near and dear to me while I'm driving on the interstate is these vehicle inspection laws, and as it pertains to poor folks in driving. I just think in some of these states, when I see on social media, folks have a hard enough time when you living below the property line, and you probably ain't going to be able to get brand new tires from Sam's Club or Costco or whatever. You're going to just get retreads when you can. And when you getting stopped by the police because you can't pass, you can't get that check engine light on because that converter costs over $1,200, and now you're driving dirty, as the young folks say, because you can't even pay your vehicle tax because you can't pass inspection. So what North Carolina, while the tent law is, I like it that you don't have to have it to pass inspection, North Carolina needs to go to 2-year inspections. There's no reason you have to bring that car back 365 days. And I just think some of these motor vehicle laws, it causes folks to break the motor vehicle laws because they got to make a decision. Pay my bills or take this car to the mechanic shop and get it fixed. And then when they miss court, they riding around with their license revoked. Then they get the car towed. And then they're sitting in the impound lot incurring charges. I just think your local delegations, all these delegations, especially in these poor counties, need to do something about motor vehicle laws as it pertains to how we handle them.
I would agree, and I think one challenge though is that law enforcement is taking advantage of that. So they're saying, oh, you got this wrong, and they pull you over, and the next thing you know, they're trying to get in your car, to search your car. I'm just saying is that, but that's what they're using. So when you do that, of course, you're going to negatively impact poor people because they're going to be the ones that are going to have things wrong with their cars.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why when I worked for Harold Medlock, Fayetteville PD years ago, and they tried to say that Harold said don't stop black folks, which is not what he said. Harold Medlock said, retired police chief, he said anybody. He said stop people for speeding. He said running stop signs, running red lights, speeding. That kills folks. When you stop them, and then if you want to hook them up for everything else, do that. Concentrate on the big stuff. And folks took that as like, oh, he just trying to appease a certain part of the community, which was not the case and whatnot. Because he's right. I ain't never heard nobody killing somebody because they didn't have a seatbelt on. They speeding. Makes sense.
That's true. I mean, they're killing themselves.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. But anyway, though, so, because switch gears back, we were talking about, your team. So, are you still deaf on the coach now? Because, you umpire, as you call balls and strikes. Does he keep his job or he don't keep his job?
Well, if you want mediocrity, they're going to finish. They still lost 7 games. They got 3 more to go. So the worst he can finish is 10-7. It's a tough team in Detroit because you see what they did to Dallas, and they keep their foot. When you play Detroit Lions, you got to play 4 downs. They don't punt. You might not see the Detroit punter Sunday at 4 o'clock. And what I don't like about the Steelers, I hate when they have standalone games. Now, last night was a standalone game, and they represented. But Sunday, they got the 4:25 game, and the other 3 games that are on Sunday at 4 are just ugly games. And all eyes will be on the Steelers in Detroit. And I just hope I don't expect to win because the Detroit Lions, they keep their foot on the pedal. They have to win. He needs to win the division because the Cleveland game, I'm supposed to go there, but the tickets were under $150. I got 2. Me and my buddy, we might not go. I don't want to brave that cold weather. I seriously doubt I want to go up that road in the cold weather. So, and then they got Baltimore at home. He has to win 2 of his last 3 games because one's at home and one's against Cleveland, and they start in Shador. And I think the Steelers can lose at Cleveland because they got that good guy, the guy Myles Garrett, who's going to break the sack record. Got to win 2 out of 3.
I don't believe you answered my question though. My question was, does he keep his job? I mean, that's a yes or no.
He's keeping his job. No. Oh, he's going to keep it. He's going to keep his job. They're not.
I'm not talking about what he's going to do. I'm asking, does DL want him to keep his job?
No, I'd fire him.
Okay,
And,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I just want to know.
Well, no, I would ask him. I would ask him to move on. I don't want to fire Tom. I would ask him to move on. And if he did move on, I say, fine, you can stay, Mike. But we're hiring all your coaches. We're going to hire all your coordinators, the D and the offense, and they got final say on most everything. That's what I would do for him.
Okay.
Because Flores, the defensive coordinator in Minnesota, is who they should have kept.
Okay, but look, that's all I wanted to know. Now I'm looking at Reverend Paul here. Look, he seems to be a little more sympathetic.
No, I'm not. It's not even. It's not even sympathy, but it's in regular Troy Williams fashion to be the antagonizer, to be the serpent who's already defeated. The Raiders are already defeated. But what he's talking about. He's just trying to bring, division within a fan base. Oh wow! But look, but now I will agree with DL. It is going to be a tough game against Detroit, and while it may be a struggle for us to get that win, I'm also looking at Baltimore's game. I'm thinking, who's they're playing? DL.
Oh, they play New England. Oh, they play
yeah.
New England. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. So while I'm, of course, rooting for Pittsburgh against Detroit, I'm also rooting for the Patriots against the Ravens, because that'll if we lose and Baltimore lose, there's nothing changed. We still have that little space. I think we can beat Cleveland, because. For some of the team, and I think the team as a whole understands the importance of trying to get into the playoffs. We may not go that far because the AFC is real heavy with those up top, but at least, getting to the playoffs right now is my first goal. Unlike the Raiders.
Paul,
see how they are?
Think about it. Paul.
Yes, sir.
The top quarterbacks in the AFC won't be playing this year. If you think about it, only one. The best quarterback in the AFC that that's going to be in the playoffs should be Josh Allen, hands down, because Burrow's not going to make it, and Mahomes is not going to make it, and Lamar won't make it if the Steelers do what they're supposed to do. With that said, if the Steelers had any defense in the top 10, I would give them a chance. That's what's so disappointing. The Steelers got the highest paid defense, and that's really the unexcusable, and that's why the former player, what's his name, Debo, we call him Debo, James Harrison, he said he didn't consider Tomlin a great coach. He considered him good. But, Troy.
Sir.
So let's talk about the Cleveland Browns quarterback, Shedeur. Now, Shedeur, somebody put up something on social media saying these quarterbacks didn't get criticized this weekend, and they had terrible games. Mahomes had a terrible game. Herbert, even though they won, he was terrible. He's got a broken hand, but he's not lived up to his billing since he came in the league, and he's a high-paid quarterback. And then you had Joe Burrow. Oh, terrible game. They got shut out. And Lamar, it was subpar. And then they had Shedeur, and why one get criticized. And I tell folks, I don't know of any quarterback that's come in the league and said, I'm legendary, I'm going to be what you call franchise transitional, don't draft me if you ain't trying to change the franchise. Shedeur put a lot of stuff on him, and in this social media age, people are going to come back with receipts, so to speak. I think that's part of the reason why he gets criticized more than any other quarterback. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I tried to go through media clips to find out any other quarterback came in saying, hey, I know what I'm going to do and all this and that. Now, he can do what he wants to, but people are going to clap back at him.
Well, I mean, I still think there's some bias there. Yeah, I mean, for me, and I'm not the only person to feel like that. I believe there's some bias against the Sanders family in general, and they're trying to get at his dad and everything else. You know, you just have to suffer it through it, man. The same way my colleagues in this room here are attacking us Raiders, man. You know, you just you gotta make it through it, but you know what I mean. That's all right. Next year we win the Super Bowl,
Look,
and I don't know what you gonna say then. You see what I'm saying? Because they were gonna beat you, okay? And I'm gonna have me a Raiders jacket, like you got your little jacket and everything. I'm gonna come in here rated up every morning.
Look,
yeah, Troy.
Yeah.
You guys are firing your coach. Pete Carroll's probably 74.
Yeah.
Should have never got the job. Should have been fired. And they started a quarterback that the Steelers should have never drafted in 22, Kenny Pickett. Oh, my goodness. Kenny's been on what, 4 teams? He got traded to the Browns and never suited up. And look,
look, we have some problems. I'll admit that. But we don't have Jerry Jones problems, okay? So there's hope for us. so you see, them somebody sitting up. Mind you, they got the Cowboys playing on Christmas Day too.
Yeah.
See, they playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. Hey, look, really? I mean, you know, make it make sense.
Well, hey, Troy.
What?
They bring the ratings. That's what it's about, you know. And we try to tell folks that I don't care who you are, because folks got mad when they put the Indiana Fever, the team, WNBA.
Right.
You know, they didn't win nothing, but they bring ratings because of Caitlin Clark, and folks got mad. It's them executives say, I want this team on TV at this particular time because I want people to buy ads. That's what it's about. But, Troy, your Raiders are always going to have problems. They stay – when you relocate to Sin City, think about it. Sin City.
Well, they do call that, but let's not get into that, okay?
But look, I mean, the Raiders are nomads. They go from Oakland to Los Angeles to Las Vegas. They just really can't stay. They can't be stationary. They just kind of moving all about. But I
and
really.
So did Abraham. Don't you read your Bible? Didn't he move?
Hey, and Paul,
wherever you lay your foot at, it's gonna be the promised land. Okay, so look, come on, wait a minute now.
Troy, you talking about owners, the late Al Davis.
Yes.
He got mad at Marcus Allen and bitch made RSL the first. Al Davis didn't have the first black head coach, but he made him bitch Marcus Allen over some petty stuff.
Yeah.
And Marcus
I understand that, but look. Let's not talk about somebody that's dead. Let's talk about somebody that's alive. Jerry Jones, sir, is still alive. Let's talk about what he's doing. Old boy's done going on to be with the Lord. Let's not talk about him, okay?
Hey, his son ain't doing no bit. Hey, the only difference is his son needs to be more hands-on. I don't know what his son doing.
Don't worry about that. Look, I'm going out there myself personally if I get the chance, and I'm gonna sit down and talk to him, and we're gonna get all that worked out. So, but no, it's like Charles Barkley said.
They were going at it. They had 2 players going at each other coming off the field against Philly on Sunday. Max Crosby was going at it with another player. I don't know why.
But that's good. That's a good thing. It's passion. I mean, because we want to win. You need to look at it like that, okay? That's passion. But
oh wow.
So now what happens is it's like Charles Barkley said. I'm back to them Cowboys again now. Charles Barkley said that when he was at ESPN, they told him talk about the Cowboys all the time. Talk them up. And so Rebo, if you're talking about America's team, was that South America? I mean, what America?
but getting back to what DL was saying, because like for the Christmas on the 25th, you've got, and they were anticipating that the Kansas City Chiefs will be playoff bound. Mahomes will be doing this thing, so the Chiefs are scheduled to be playing during the holidays as well as the Cowboys, and so it's a hit or miss type thing with the NFL. Now granted, if the Cowboys were like they were a couple of years back, where were basically, they were changing quarterbacks every 4 or 5 games.
No, every quarter.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
But I tell you this though, now Aaron Rodgers, now he's always changing his mind. He's a drama king. I like Aaron Rodgers, but he's a drama king. he can come back one more year. Steelers offensive line, I went to Pro Football Focus, how they rate these guys. Steelers offensive line is terrible. And Aaron Rodgers, to be 41, soon to be 42, he's got at least one more year left in him, but he needs a legitimate offensive line that can protect him, because without Aaron Rodgers, Steelers don't win as many games as they do. They just don't.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Minnesota, but they thought because, you know, he does a lot of weird stuff, goes into mediation and goes off the grid, and the coach didn't want that. And I bet you the coach from Minnesota wish he took Aaron Rodgers now. So I hope he comes back one more year and gets with a better team. And he deserves to go out better than to go out this way.
Yeah. Well, look.
Yeah. So look. They have Raiders gear at the local grocery store. When you go there and they ask for paper or plastic, just get paper. Put paper.
Okay, all right. That's all right. They're talking smack today. That's all right, but that's okay. I'm going to have something ready for y'all.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right, guys, I'm going to let y'all go.
Okay, I'll let you go. See, I was going to get you guys Christmas presents, but forget that. You're not getting anything from me now.
All right, deal.
Well, look, appreciate you, man. We got to get out of here, guys.
Well, look, guys, we enjoyed you all again. Won't be here till tomorrow, but on Thursday I'll be back with Sheriff candidate Troy McDuffie.
Okay.
And Friday we'll be on with at-large candidate for county commissioner, and that's going to be Greg West. So we look forward to that. But anyway, look, a little chilly out there. It's supposed to warm up a little bit. And so, but we'll be going to, I think I need to take a picture of Ray up here and post it on social media so y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, they talking trash today, but that's all right. What goes around comes around. You guys have a great day.